welcome back to Paranormal Perspective. I'm John Lorden, and joining me as always is
Christy
Christy. This is the show where you do all the research, look into a paranormal topic, try to convince me that it is paranormal. I try to lay in some critical thinking, try to get
Mhm.
you to see, no, it's not. It's something based in the real world where the rest of us live. But
Mhm.
she tries to drag me back from that edge of skepticism over and over, and she's done a
Yes.
bunch of good jobs with different topics. As Wolfenstein 3000 said in the chat, let's get paranormal. Christy, what's the topic today?
Walking trees. And I'm not
What?
talking like a couple of inches a year. I mean, walking trees.
Walking trees.
Yeah.
Did you take anatomy at all in school?
I did. And they shouldn't be able to walk, right? Unless they're magical.
Or if my muscles are made out of wood, which they might be, some of them are feeling pretty. I'm in race shape right now. So I'm just saying, it's possible. It's possible my muscles are
Mhm.
made out of wood.
Mhm.
All right, Christy. We always put a question to the live audience here that helps us decide who wins the episode. What is the question for them?
Do you believe that some trees can walk? And I mean it walking, not, a
Can
slow
some
gradual move because of whatever. No,
can some
walking.
trees walk? All right. So if they answer yes to that, we assume that that means a paranormal occurrence, right?
Well, yeah, because
We're,
trees don't have legs. How else could this happen?
okay. Okay. So that we're not going to fall into some middle ground where it's like, oh no, there is a thing where they can actually walk, and there's some scientific explanation. You mean it's a paranormal, something magical
What?
is happening.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Just want to
Yes,
be clear there.
definitely.
All right.
Yes.
I will keep that question and pop it on them in the middle of your presentation. Christy, let's do this.
Okay. Now, trees come up in folklore from so many different places. Every culture has sacred trees, all of them, whether they can move or not. Like, the Vikings believed in Yggdrasil. There we go. They believed that all of the worlds rested on it,
Okay.
revolved around it. But then that's a nice tree.
Yeah.
It's
And
supporting things, it's trying to help us. There's an unusual story called the man-eating tree of Madagascar. And since 1874, people have talked about these trees. They've written books about them, the carnivorous tree. It was said that when a member of a certain African tribe, well, excuse me, Madagascar, when someone in one of their tribes was to be sacrificed, they would take it to one of these man-eating trees where the branches were almost vine-like, and they would wrap around the person and squeeze the life out of them and digest them.
like almost that sounds like a snake attack or something, like a boa
Well, and that's
constrictor
what
type.
that's what they liken the branches to. They're like snakes, and they wrap
Okay.
around you as tight as an anaconda.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Now, the Yativio people in Africa and Central America have have one that's called, this one freaks me out. In Spanish, it's Ya te veo, which means I see you.
Okay. All right.
That's because these branches, they produce a hissing sound that sounds exactly like they're saying, I see you.
Goodness. Wow. Which is
Yeah.
this one of the? Oh, here's the Yateveo. This is it, right? Carnivorous.
Yep.
Okay.
Carnivorous tree.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those poor guys. They're not far enough away.
Yeah, it's
They're
hard to
looking
see,
at
but
their buddy.
there's a guy in there. Yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
does. He
Yeah.
doesn't look
They're way too
happy.
close if they can see him.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that one's not I know that's not a walking tree, but that was just scary. So I put that in there.
Okay. Okay.
Now, as 16 years ago in India, and I have the news report saved. I can put the link in the description here, the chat. That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
And you guys can watch it if you want. It's a little long. It has some funky music in it, but it's an Indian broadcast where they report that a farmer in a small village was out with his cattle one day building fences. He turns around, and one of the trees out there has his cow trapped and is trying to eat it. So he gets the cow out and he hacks up the tree because all you can see in this picture are like the remnants of the tree.
I was wondering about that. Yeah, because I went through this whole
Mhm.
video like trying to find the most interesting screen grab for us to be able to talk about it, and this is it, unfortunately.
It is. I mean, he totally destroyed this thing before anybody could get there. And it
um,
didn't look like it was a big tree to me to begin with. So I'm like, how is it trying to eat that cow?
yeah, I'm kind of having the same thing. Also, just the production on this. I don't know how much we could play because there's so much music, but
Yeah,
some of the music sounds like
is
a type of music you wouldn't see in a video like this. Let's see here.
no.
Pushpalata, a local
Like
who's an
that sounded like
eyewitness to this
horror music a
horrific
little bit.
incident, explains the whole.
Uh, Christy,
Yeah.
this is from an adult movie. I'm pretty sure I know that song. That's definitely from an adult movie.
They
Um,
play the X-Files theme.
yeah, this kind of twist on the X-Files theme is in there.
Mhm.
This video segment is pretty terrible, and then what's most interesting about it is there's credits like it's a documentary at the end. There's
That
kind
one
of
was suspect, okay?
yeah. This I don't know. I don't know. It's bizarre to me. This whole video is
They
bizarre.
hey, they
But
swear by it.
they swear by it. One of the great things
Mhm.
is just some of the comments down here, which you should. The
Oh,
blurry
I did read
close-ups.
some of them.
Yeah, the blurry close-ups of trees are what really convinced me that this is a newsworthy story. And everyone
But it's
loves the
from India.
soundtrack.
I don't know.
Yeah, lovely soundtrack. Anyone know where I could find it? They love it. They love it. Okay. So, all
Yeah.
right.
But
What else do we
mhm.
have to look here for proof? What is this? Just
You just not buying that at all, huh?
that news report? No. No. I'm pretty sure in grade school I made things that were better than that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's terrible.
Okay. Well, if you go online and you type in walking trees,
Yeah.
what you're going to find is, well, I mean, it's called the walking palm tree. S'more Science magazine says that while most trees cannot walk, they said most, there is one exception. There's more than that, but the walking palm tree. Found in the rainforests of South and Central America, the walking palm tree has the ability to move. It does so by growing new roots in the direction of sunlight, usually, whatever direction it is, it makes its move. And then it lets the old roots die out. So it just kind of moves from place to place and it's slow.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
slow. It's not like they get feet. No, they don't. It's nothing like that.
Yeah.
But if you look a little closer, you can find the video segment that I found. And guys, you're going to have to explain some of this to me because I don't know, aside from just total CG, like they just totally made all this up, I don't know how some of this happens.
You might have answered it. You might have already given my theory on it.
No.
It might be CGI, but here let's take a look. This is
I've been seeing these videos of trees moving.
what website is this? Oh, this is
Really
Zaytruth 101.
It was caught on drone footage, as
Yeah.
you can see.
All right,
seem like-
I'm gonna mute him because we're gonna talk over this. But there's some bizarre movement happening there.
And you think they're getting cut down, right? But they don't get cut down.
Now that's interesting to me, just in terms of if I caught some action like that was happening, would I all of a sudden pan to the top of a hill?
No.
No. So I don't know about that movement. Now the thing is, if it is CGI, that type of movement would be really, well, not super tricky to kind of track in terms of getting these trees to still be moving at that one particular spot. There are
Mhm.
ways to do it now, like in the software, you basically have to identify an area that it kind of locks on to. But
Mhm.
this movement pretty much knocks out most of the area where I think you could do that. But the other thing that people will sometimes do is they'll take a static shot, do this CGI work, and then add fake movement after. so that it looks like
Mhm.
it's a camcorder or a handheld camera of some kind. I'm also just curious about, why is this framed so small? Like this capture is really, really bizarre.
I don't know. Maybe the drone was way up there.
Yeah, and I don't think he explains it, if I remember right. I don't think he's got any
No,
explanation.
and I've tried looking for more practical explanations for some of these,
Yeah.
and I can't figure it out. You would think some of this was, I mean, what is this? What is this?
Oh, we've now moved to something else. Now,
Did you see that? It's
look,
dragging a trail through the dirt through
this
the
is
yard.
this is a trend that happens with these videos that you bring up on this show. There's these guys that do these compilations where they all of a sudden pull all these things together, that are obviously separate things.
Mhm.
Um, this, yes, there is a tree. I believe it's being dragged probably by some type of equipment, some type of machinery.
But how is it doing that? It would just pull it up out of the ground.
Not necessarily. Like if you had an excavator and the excavator had gripped the top of the tree and it was just rotating to the left, you could make that happen. It's kind of weird that it's digging into the ground like that, because you would think that the friction would start to make it tilt. But if those excavators, they have like basically a hand at the top. Like if you had a good solid hold of that, like this, look how scientific I'm getting right now. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but it's a tree. It would break or it would come out of the ground or something.
You got to watch some Homestead Rescue, Christy. Like this is something that the guy on Homestead Rescue, he does this all the time. He is amazing. He does ridiculous things with moving big giant objects that are super risky.
Mhm.
Um, but the other thing is, look at this camera angle. Like this camera to me seems like it is like, it could be that it's on the excavator that's actually doing that, or a person that's standing next to it and it's just off to the left. Um, just looking for any signs, but yeah, it's gone so fast you can't tell.
Hmm.
Oh, look, it's feet. What
Look at
what
that.
what?
Look at it run.
Well, those were the great ice skating trees of Canada. You haven't heard of those?
How did they, come on, how did they do this? Those trees are running.
Oh, we had to
Do
go
this.
back to this one. It was so good. Run that one again.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's interesting. But
That
that looks
I know
like
what that is.
that looks like a natural weather event. Like it's a storm.
It
Like look
is.
at all the
It's
trees.
water that's set up under the ground. Because
Oh
watch, you
yeah.
can see little bits of water bubbling up there by
Oh, and
that
it's all
plant.
moss. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that
Uh-oh.
tree go.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
murderous tree. I can tell.
I mean, it's running. How would they do that?
Goodness.
John was like, they cut a tree down and put it on a car and drove it around. I'm like, come on.
Uh this one does look real to me. That doesn't look like CGI. That does look like something that's being done
Where's
there.
it going?
But we can't see the bottom of it, so how do we know?
Well, I mean, we could see the bottom of it at the first, just as the tree come out, but
I want to run that one again. Hold on. That one's the
or
most
the
interesting.
cars are in the way, aren't they?
Yeah. The first one is straight CGI to me, but this one isn't. This is an event. This tree is moving around. Yeah, there's always something covering the
See?
bottom there though. What would it be? How would you do that? It would have to be like a really low flatbed of some kind or something.
It'd have to be. Or it could just be a walking tree.
Well, but when we walk, Christy, we go like this. Watch me demonstrate walking.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have walked before,
That tree's ice skating. That thing's just whipping around.
but they have like roots and little things that are going like under the ground. That's how they're doing it.
Oh, that guy fell over. The tree scared himself. What is this?
Look at this tree moving.
Oh, I mean, the problem with this one is you have no sense of size. I mean, that could be someone just behind the rock holding a branch.
Oh, come on. No, they're way too far out. It'd have to be
Nah,
bigger.
no. I don't know about that one. I might buy this video more.
That
At
tree
least the
tried to eat that
soundtrack's
cow.
better. The soundtrack is better on this video. I will definitely say
It is.
that.
Jenna, we don't know that
What
they're fake.
what are they saying? What are they saying in the chat? I'm going to start the poll now.
Jenna's like, this is so fake.
Well,
Bigfoot has the bottom of the tree.
who recommended this? This came up last week, right? Someone while we were recording said something about walking trees. Don't I remember that right? It was
I
someone in the
don't
chat.
really remember where it started, to be
Yeah.
honest, but it
No,
was last week that it got brought up.
it was one of you in the chat that made this episode happen. So don't get mad at her. Blame yourselves if you're going to bring up
I'm
walking
just
trees.
I'm just trying to teach y'all about the world that people don't always see.
It's true. She is. Well, Christy also did herself a bit of a disservice. She actually sent me this video
I
early
did.
on in the week. She was super excited. And that gave me some foresight into what this conversation was. And I was like, well, let me see
Yeah.
what I can find about walking trees.
Yeah.
So, to the point of the one that she was talking about, there is a type of palm in Ecuador that allegedly walks up to 20 meters per year. Now, that
Yeah.
in itself sounds amazing. I would say that that's amazing, and I would consider that a walking tree. 20 meters over the course of a year, that's serious.
How is that in feet?
20 meters would be 60.
60 feet?
60 feet. See, I'm saying I would consider that a walking tree. Even if it takes you a year, if you're going 60 feet, you're walking. The name of this is
Socratia exoriza.
I nailed pronunciations. I got to do that with the podcast recordings too. Did you see how I nailed that?
Socratia
I did.
exoriza.
Perfect.
It's amazing.
These palms resemble broomsticks as their roots are elongated and partially above the ground. Local lore has that the trees are moving to get more sun, while scientists have a more down-to-earth explanation. They hypothesize that the movement of the trees from the spot of germination is due to two factors: sunlight and soil erosion. So, kind of the point that Christy was making, basically the roots, the old roots disintegrate, there's new roots that are grown, and the tree is effectively shifting in time as that's happening. So this is according to michiganforests.org, which you can always trust a .org. However, I did find an article over at sciencealert.com, and apparently even that information and that explanation is debatable. So
What?
in 2005, a tropical ecologist and palm expert named Gerardo Avalos published a study that found that the
Socratia exoriza.
does not actually wander from its spot of germination. He and his colleagues agree that when the walking palm is knocked over, it can rapidly grow new roots to deal with the loss of stability, but it does not actually move very much at all. So basically, the basis of it is still in the same spot. And they kind of show an example here. Like if you imagine that this started growing over on the left, got kind of tall, started leaning over, and then new roots. And look at that root structure. I mean, it does.
It looks like legs.
It looks like legs. But effectively, the point of origination back here stays the same. So that's according to the research. There's kind of two sides of that story. However, I did find something that supports your theory once again, because I've always got your back. Watch this. Dun 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 dun. There's the movement I was looking for, Christy. That is a walking tree. You see that?
I do see that. How did they do that?
Now you probably don't notice the little tiny rope that's in front of it though, right?
Oh, I can see that now. Thank you. I was starting to just proclaim it real. Be like, John sold it for us, guys.
That's right. I'm the one that proved the paranormal in today's paranormal perspective. Oh, you have more information or?
No, that
You're
was
right.
it.
Okay.
I will say I was very disappointed that ants weren't real.
Okay. Okay.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, that's it. I mean, I thought the evidence spoke for itself. Trees are walking, some of them very quickly.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to see if the audience agrees with you. And just give it 5 more seconds because I see Christy needs time to get her vote in.
Already did it.
Okay. We are ending the poll. Can some trees walk? 58% of the audience says
Oh no.
oh, yes, Christy. They say no, trees cannot walk.
Well, that's just sad, y'all. My world was a happier place when they could run around out there. Run free in the forest with no one to watch.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Does a tree make a sound when it runs through the forest if no one's there to hear it?
I saw a comment on one of those videos, and the guy said something about, he's like, I went out to my front yard and I noticed that the tree was closer to my house. And I went back out to the front yard later. It was even closer. So I decided to stop eating mushrooms. And then all of a sudden the tree went back to its original spot and the sky stopped melting.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll help.
I guess so.
Shrooms don't work for everybody.
I guess so. Well, Christy,
Well,
it was close. You got 41%. It's pretty close. It's pretty close.
it was closer than I thought it would be. I was
Yeah.
afraid I'd be the only one who believed in walking trees.
No, there's some other believers out there, but I don't know. I think CGI and heavy machinery was most of what I saw
Yeah,
in those
practical
videos.
effects.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, y'all. I live around a lot of woods. If I'm ever out there and some tree takes off running, you will be the first to know.
Well, if it does, grab your cell phone, people. Like that,
Well,
we need to make a t-shirt that says paranormal perspective. If you see something, grab your cell phone and start recording. Just right off the bat. All of you guys, if you're watching this, get your cell phone and start recording and send it in to Christy at LordanArts.com because she needs more proof.
yes,
So
definitely. I mean, any proof you find, any ideas you have for another show, send it over. Nothing's too weird.
that's right. That's right. All right, Christy, thank you so much for all your hard work on today's episode. We do appreciate everything that you do for this show. And thanks to our live audience. Thanks to you, the recorded audience. We'll see you guys next time on Paranormal Perspective. Catch you on the other side.